Next up, Russ and I are going to talk about Child's Play, Child's Play 2, and Child's Play 3.
And if you want to be our friend till the end, make sure you subscribe to our page, like this video, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. We love you.
Thanks, champ.
Lastly, from Scream Factory, which is coming out August 16th in 4K, is Child's Play 4K. Now, we talked about this, a while back when it got announced, and now just take an opportunity to plug it again, but also just talk our thoughts, discuss the film itself. Now, this is also coming with 2 and 3, which I want to touch on, a little bit as well, but mainly Child's Play. I'll let you open your wings and fly on 2 and 3, Russ.
You've never seen them?
I've never seen them. Did you know that this movie was originally called Batteries Not Included until they discovered Jessica Tandy's ass? So yeah, so they changed that, but this movie came out in 1988, directed by Tom Holland.
Mm-hmm. Fright Night fame.
Psycho sequel.
Yeah,
83.
Yeah. And that one actually over the years that keeps getting revisionist love and appreciation over the years. And he made a great Spider-Man, as you pointed out.
Yeah. And this movie, was a huge success. It spawned 6 sequels. Merchandise, a TV show. It was rebooted into a TV show. Is that what it is? Is it a whole new experience?
It's canon.
Is it canon? Okay.
And that's one thing I will always say. This series is the most consistent horror series.
What are you talking about?
The internal logic. Yeah. Dude, that remake, I think, is the only thing that stands out. The TV series takes all of these movies into play.
Yeah.
Part 6 takes everything before it into play.
Yeah.
While introducing new characters. It's a fucking universe now at this point.
Wow. Chucky, this movie, but mainly Chucky, the character or the doll, is just like forever in pop culture. Like it's like you line them up. Yeah. Chucky, Freddy, Jason.
And it was pretty immediate.
He's in there.
It was pretty immediate.
He's just one of those.
It didn't I don't feel like it was something that gradually. I think pretty much out the gate, Chucky was
like a thing.
Well, the first one. What are your thoughts on the first one?
I was going to ask you, Russ. Why do you think it's great?
It's a horror movie. It manages to still be horror while having comedic elements and funny. Like basically, what I always loved about the Child's Play series, and it was evident in the first one as well, is that they knew the concept was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome concept, by the way.
It is an awesome concept, but they knew visually it's ridiculous.
Right.
They knew visually, like, anybody can just kick a doll across the room that is chasing you. And so they wisely, in my opinion, acknowledged the lunacy of it and threw comedy in there.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
It's like they knew at the beginning that inherently this thing could be torn to shreds as far as logic goes. So let's have fun with it. You do feel like Chucky is a little bit of a menace, like when they blow up that house in the one part.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was going to say.
Like he's genuinely fucking with a kid, and that's what makes it more like, oh, even though it's funny and silly, the fact that it's a kid, he's very innocent, and that's your doll. When you're a kid, you love your and he trusts him in this movie, and that's what makes it great.
Well, my buddy was out at that time. The doll, My Buddy.
Yeah.
And that was like that as a kid watching it, that did kind of fuck with you a little bit. That was the point. But when you were saying, it's silly and all that kind of stuff, I feel like what really made it effective, because it is an effective horror movie, is that the doll was so well done. I felt like I feel like the animatronic face when he laughed maniacally, when he expressed anger as the movie went on and he gets more fucked up looking and his hairline's like receding, he's starting to look like the Brad Dourif human. Mm-hmm. Like it's like terrifying. Like you said, you could kick that doll across the room, but if that menacing ass voice came out of that disgusting ass looking doll in real life, you'd be fucking terrified. You'd be running. Like that's some scary fucking shit. And I feel like they pull that off really well in this movie.
The acting, as you pointed out, I think I don't recall her name, but the mother's good in this.
She is.
And I'm going to get into something about Child's Play too. And honestly, right down to Jennifer Tilly coming in 4 and kind of sending the franchise in a different direction. There's always been great acting in these movies.
Yeah.
For horror movies.
Chris Sarandon's like a hero in it. He's awesome.
And let us not forget the voice of Chuck. He's a Brad Dourif. That's an Oscar-nominated actor.
I was going to say, you got to talk about that even for a second. Like, again, back to the doll, like, his voice made that thing so believably scary. Like, he was such an incredible, nuanced.
I was never scared.
But I mean, no, dude, it's like.
But it's iconic. Like,
it's
it was
designed
immediately
to be scary and menacing and funny and just get under your skin. And it like, what the doll looks like and what his voice sounds like is just
perfect synergy.
It's dude. It's just so
it matches perfect.
God,
you can't envision it any other way.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I'm so glad they never replaced him or he never left. I mean, they're still doing it.
No matter what.
You know, his daughter, Fiona Dourif, she comes in Curse and Cult.
She first read for the part of the bitchy sister in Curse,
which
that
is
Danielle
what I generally
played.
get. I get cast as like,
and she was good. But when I saw her, I saw the audition. I was like, oh, actually, I think she'd be great as the lead. I called Brad, and I think she'd be great as Nika, actually.
And then my dad called me, and he goes, Fiona, I just got a call from the director, Don Mancini, and he wants you to read for the lead. And I was like, cool, great, Dad.
I mean, there was a couple of things I didn't know about this first one, especially like when it was released, that it was about like 2 hours long. The test audience is like panned it or whatever, so they kind of had to go back to the drawing board. And one of the biggest points of contention for this movie was how much screen time should Chucky get? Whereas the producers and the writer, they were kind of saying, we want this to be like Jaws. We want this to be like Alien. Like, we want him to just kind of like not appear till maybe towards the end, or he just kind of lurks in the shadows. Like, we want this to be like more menacing and then whatever. And
that's
I guess
interesting. Don Mancini wanted that in
the
original?
And Tom Holland was against that. And he wanted it the other way. And he also, after they cut this 25 minutes out, Tom Holland left the production at that point. Brad Dourif wasn't the original Chucky voice. And that was another reason why test audiences hated it. It was a female. Jessica Walter, Lucille Bluth.
Really?
I guess she was doing it in a very, also trying to be menacing. And apparently they thought it worked. They were like playing around with different voices. But then when it went through test audiences, they were like, why don't we just have Brad, the guy who's playing the human?
That makes.
Why don't we just have him come and try to do the damn doll voice too? Since why would his voice change?
And especially if you're going to say, because the movie sets up, you see Charles Lee Ray, you see Brad Dourif in the toy store getting killed and all that. Maybe if you didn't see him, and there was a different story,
and he didn't do the whole
that would work.
Summoning or whatever the hell it was.
Why all of a sudden does he sound like the great actress from Doctor Strange?
I thought maybe you were pulling my chain.
At the end of the day, it became a huge success. It ended up being number 2 behind Rayman for 1988.
I just don't believe it.
Child's Play 2 came out 2 years after the first one, and now Chucky's chasing Andy in like foster care. None of the original cast other than Andy and Brad Dourif come back. Critics panned this one too, but Mancini says that number 2 is known as the favorite of the fans.
I didn't know that, and I said that. I didn't know it was a fan favorite. I always thought people just went with the first. It is. And I can tell you why. It is fun from beginning to end. It is fast paced. Again, it's silly without like beating you over the head. You're having fun with it. It's not talking down to the genre. It's just being in the genre and having fun with it. One secret weapon that 2 has, and I don't know how many people have pointed this out.
I don't know, and I don't care.
His foster sister. I don't know her name either, and she's a main character. She's like the one who believes him, and finally, like oh shit,
cracks
this is real. You know, nobody believes him. That girl is incredible. Like the times I've seen Child's Play 2, I'm always like, dude, why wasn't she in like a Spielberg movie?
I need the money.
She's incredible. I believe it 100%. I believe her. I believe her relationship with Andy. I believe why Andy would trust her. Like, it feels so genuine for a horror sequel.
So what about Child's Play 3? So that came out 9 months after 2. But it takes place 8 years later. Well, this one I guess opened to even worse reviews than the second one. Made even less money. And then the next movie didn't even come out till like 7 years later. And
it was a complete reinvention. 3, honestly, it's not that bad. It's not bad. You could do a lot worse. There are way worse horror sequels than Child's Play 3. It's more drab. Like everything I said about Child's Play 2 that is a blast, Child's Play 3 feels more like drag. This is like nothing, and it's good. It does have one great thing. I remember being a kid watching it, And I saw there's a part where, you know, they're in a military academy and they're doing like this practice battle stuff. And Chucky replaces the fake bullets with real bullets.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're using live rounds!
I saw it when it came out, so I'm like 9 or something. And I remember thinking like, whoa, that is so messed up. And no one would know it's the dog. And it does have a cool ending. I always like the ending of 3.
Well, are you going to pick up this bundle? Are you going to pick up any of these individually? What'd you do?
Nothing.
I'm going with the Best Buy steel. It's got that
I
original
I
art.
want it.
Like
it
that.
looks nice. That's the one. And it's funny because I'd love to own 2. If they did a steelbook in the style of 1 for 2, oh, I'd be picking up both of them. I'm like you. I'm hesitant because the series is so strong. I would love a box set of all of them in 4K.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think I'm going to skip.
You're going to skip this
But
time?
that has nothing to do with the quality. Like I said, that Best Buy steelbook, I'm with you. I like the original art.
Yeah.
It looks sweet.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's definitely one I'm going to go with. So.
Even the Scream Factory designs, they're not...
Yeah,
they're
good.
not terrible.
No, they're good. And they give you alternate slips, too, if you want them.
Yeah.
There's alternate slips. So this is out August 16th for all you Child's Play fans. Like I said, I'll be getting the steelbook, and Russ will be passing.
Fuck you.